All right, I think we're rolling here. So we are just finishing up spring training. 1993 Rockies. I did the expansion draft on my own. Uh, and so obviously we're not the real Rockies of real life, but all the real players. The league has kind of taken its own alternate universe route. Simmed through 1992, so then the game imports the Rockies and the Marlins coming into 1993 without starting in 93 and having all the guys, the real guys on the rosters. So as I simmed through 92, the Pirates won the World Series. A bunch of guys got traded and moved around. And you can check those videos out if you want, linked in the comments or in the description, I mean, of this one. There's a couple. This is the number third one. So I link each one, see the prior video here or see the next video here when I come out with the next one. So right now, we've just finished spring training, just finished our last game. This is soon to be updated before the season starts. They'll do another BSN 100 top prospect list. I have a pretty good idea of my pitching staff. So we signed Kevin Brown in the offseason. He was a 17-game winner last year for Texas. He's a good get for us. He's not real popular in the game right now. He was an all-star last year, and he's got a lot of movement. So I'm excited about him. Matt Rambo was Rookie of the Year, and we picked him up in the expansion draft. They just didn't protect him. They had other guys they were protecting. So we got Rambo. Frank Tanana, I think that's how you say his name. I recognize the name from being back in the 90s. I picked him up as a minor league free agent signing, actually. He's been an all-star back in the 70s. But then as of late, he's had a couple decent years with Detroit. ERA under 4 in the American League. So he's 39 now. I figure we'll give him a shot in spring training, and he's done well. Spring training really well. 10 innings under a 1 ERA. So I'm guessing he's given up like 1 run in 10 and a third. John Doherty, Jaime Navarro, topping off the rotation. Dwayne Ward, we also signed in the offseason. He's on $2 million. So that's big money for a closer. But the dude was reliever of the year in 92 and an all-star. So I think we can have a decent pitching staff. I mean, it is Colorado, but I'm putting stock into that. I'm trying to see if we can be good right away. We have a big time fan interest. We don't have that much more money available. Our budget's still pretty low. Our owner, though, he wants to win. Priority is winning. Expects us, I guess, I don't know if that's this year to reach the playoffs, but in the goals here, it's like by 95. But I think current expectation is that because he sees that we have a good team. If we go to preseason predictions, now this was generated before spring training got started. We might be in the mix here so how I have it set up differently. Well, in real life, there was a East and a West, AL, NL in 93. 94, there was no playoff because of the strike, but they had a wild card proposal, and they had 3 division format, so East, Central, West, with 1 wild card team coming out of the AL, 1 wild card team coming out of the NL. So I do like that. I decided we're going to do like a wild card in 93. And then I moved some teams around from the East and the West to make it like Braves were in the West. That's kind of weird. I put them in the East. I think the Cardinals were in the East, so I moved them to the West. They're just much more Western than Atlanta. So anyway, I did that, and then we got the top 2 teams coming out of each division. So in this case, in the projections here, it'd be the Braves, Pirates, Dodgers, Padres, and then we do have 1 wild card team. I don't think it's 1 from each division. I think it's just 1. And that wild card team has a play-in game, a 1-game play-in against the lowest seed out of those 4. So in this case, it would be the Padres and the Cubs, or I guess it'd be a 3-way tie here. But whoever came out of that tie would then play the Padres in a 1-game playoff for the 4 seed. Let me confirm that that's what we're doing. I haven't played here in several days, but I think that's what we did. So let's check out customized playoffs. Yeah, one wild card. So it's the one gets a bye, the five plays the four, and then the two and the three also get a bye. So yep, that's how we're doing it. Um, I don't know. I think that's a good way to do it. Like obviously it's a big change. It would have been a big change at the time because in '92 it was you won the East, you won the West. That was it. No wild cards. They probably would be complaining that it's too soft. All these teams are making the playoffs, but it's way different than real life where several more teams make the playoffs. So I like that format. We got four teams making the playoffs, basically. One of them's a play-in game, but four teams making the playoffs from each league. We're going to keep it like that for a little while because I don't have the box check that goes with like the natural, real life way that it went, but instead goes with how I want to do it. So we won't have like the Diamondbacks and Devil Rays necessarily coming in '97. Maybe we'll do it later down the road or something, and then we'll probably keep this playoff format as is. We might go to three division format eventually. I mean, I think that's not a bad idea, but I like this because you got two teams fighting for it, and then they might even be fighting for a third spot, and that's almost half the teams in your division. So there's going to be some that are way out of it, but there's no way around that. Okay, so back to it. One thing, as I'm looking at the spring training stats here, what happened? I went away from it. Let's go back to spring training. Here's our spring training OPSs. My manager likes Pat Kelly. I asked my manager, hey, what would you do for starting? And then this is what they did. I'm going to definitely do it a little differently because the manager does give me say over it. And I'm not that impressed with Pat Kelly. They like him. My scout doesn't, think that highly of him either. It is a low scouting accuracy. Really, he's fast is the only thing that stands way out. But his defense is average at best, and his hitting is average at best. I got him in the expansion draft from the Yankees. I shopped him around for a prospect and couldn't get anything out of it. No one was interested. But when I go to single players, I get some interesting offers, and I do have trade. I do have the trade difficulty on kind of high. Now, the one that stands out to me the most here is Greg Olson. Baltimore is willing to give up Olson. They must be rebuilding, I guess. I don't know, or they just really like Pat Kelly for some reason. Let's see. Can we check what their deal is here? Maybe front office neutral, it says. But they might be trying to save money. I don't know. Like that would free them up some money. They got Hoyleys. They got Cal Ripken Jr., Dave Winfield. Those are all good players for them right now. Mike Morgan, 13th best starter in the game, but a 16-game winner for the Cubs last year. I think that was a free agent signing. Yes, it was. They got him for 1.2 mil for 1 year. They already have Musina, so they have decent starting pitching here. But yeah, they're willing to give up Olson. I mean, what's it say? I guess it says he's only the 19th best reliever in the game. So maybe my scout thinks he's overrated. It's only average scouting accuracy. He is on 2.6 mil, so that's a lot for a reliever. In fact, it might even be the highest in the game. Let's see here. Let's go to all pitchers. That's demand. Let's go to all players here. Player list, all pitchers. Let's go to, I think default has the, nope, we got to go to financial info. Financial info and salary. Okay, those are starting pitchers. Let's go to relief pitchers here. All relievers. Okay, so that's right. Paul Assenmacher with Toronto. They really boasted up their pen. He signed a big time deal with the Cubs. He's on 3 years for 3.4 mil. He wasn't even an all-star last year, but they like him. He was good. He was good with the Cubs. 36 saves. But Olson is the next highest, and he goes to arbitration, so he's still under team control. I don't have to ask him back, and I could offer him what is it, the qualifying offer, and then get a draft pick if he doesn't take it, or trade him. So I'm leaning toward yes. I mean, I don't think I wasn't going to start Pat Kelly at short. My manager likes him, but I wasn't going to do it. And I do have Will Cordero as my shortstop, like of the future, is kind of how I'm looking at it. I mean, he's not on the top 100 list now. He might not technically be a prospect. He's out for what, a couple more weeks, but I mean, again, it's average accuracy, but according to my scout, high contact, pretty good defense, fast. I really like him. So he'll be at shortstop when he comes back. He didn't have a great spring training, but he'll be at shortstop. It says he's the 17th best right now in the game. So I mean, I like him there. I just don't see Pat Kelly doing much for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I know it's 2.6 mil. It's gonna take our money down to our available money to 1.2. So we really don't have much. My assistant GM doesn't like it. He's not giving me any other explanation for it. I'm guessing it's just they think he is not worth that much money. But it's a 1 year thing. So I'm good with that. I'm going to go ahead and submit the offer. I have the trade stuff on like hard kind of. So, well, I mentioned that already, but the, what is it? The new feature here in Out of the Park 24, where you can't just keep adding guys and see what they'll do and then complete the trade. You got to submit it, see if they'll do it, and then your reputation goes up if so. And if they don't do it, your reputation doesn't get hurt, but they might come back with something. And if you make the deals, then they'll like your reputation more. So I'm going to submit it. We're going to try to get Greg Olson. That would bolster my pen. I think we would have a pretty good pen. Look at Tom Burke. He was with San Diego and Montreal last year. He had a 1.22 ERA. He was actually with three teams. It was with the Mets as well. He's 34 years old. This is his last year before he's a free agent. I do have like a couple guys that are going to be upcoming free agents. Burke, he's demanding a mil. I can afford that. Mike Boddicker. Oh, these are all pitchers, but I think there's I guess there's Buhner. There's a couple other guys, a couple outfielders. BJ Surhoff is the highest demand right now, but most of them were pitchers, as you can see here when I was looking at that. So now I do want to try to get all these other guys back on a minor league contract. So I'm going to go ahead and offer them that. We're going to select all those guys and get rid of these guys that want actual money. We're going to offer minor league extension. So there we go. We'll see how we do. I'm excited to see the updated preseason projections. And Olivares right now, I waived and DFA'd him. He was good with Oakland last year, but he didn't have a good spring training. Again, scouting actually very low. So, but he didn't have a good spring training, and he had a decent year with Oakland. He's 24. He came up with St. Louis before that, and he was like real good for 49 innings in 1990, and then 91 he was right around average. 92 with St. Louis, he only had 6 innings, but he didn't do well, and then went to Oakland and he did pretty well. So I mean, I do like his numbers. I'm hoping nobody picks him up. And looking again at him, it kind of makes me, maybe I should have shopped him around or something. It makes me want to potentially keep him. I wonder if I can pull him back off waivers. Let's see here. Remove player from waivers. Player is DFA'd. He cannot be moved from waivers directly. Wait until he clears waivers. Drag him from the DFA box to the team, or right click and use. So what if I just tried to drag him over to my spring training roster again here? Okay, got it clear. I already waived him. All right. I'm worried someone's going to pick him up. See, I didn't pay as much attention to my scout accuracy being very low. I was kind of like, he's okay. And he didn't have a good spring training. And he's out of option years. That's why. So I wanted to send him down to the minors, and I got a pretty good staff here. So I wanted to send him down, and I couldn't. So I needed to waive and DFA him. So I did that. So let's go ahead and move to the next day here. I do have 3 guys that I have to put down to the minors, and they're all going to be position players. Pat Kelly was going to be one of them. He is also out of options. So I didn't want to waive and DFA him. I wanted to shop him around. Hopefully I can get Olson out of him. Okay, so here we go. Baltimore almost. I'm glad nobody picked up Olivares yet. They say they want me to add any of these following players. looks like a bunch of young minor leaguers. So Cologne, a right fielder who has a very high eye potential and power, but terrible contact potential, according to my scout. McCarthy, I might get. I mean, is he a reliever? Oh, he's a potential starter, but his control is extremely low. So neither of these guys are super valuable. John McGraw, I like his eye. I like his ratings. I'm not going to get him. I'm not going to give him up. He's in Double A. Pat Burns, Single A, first baseman. I think I'm okay giving this guy up. Again, it's low accuracy, but he doesn't strike out at all. I guess that's good for Coors Field and altitude. Thomas, I mean, bad contact, but decent elsewhere. Here's a pitcher, Hook. So he's been around a little bit already. Single A last year with a 5.77 ERA, but bad control. You know what? I think he's probably the guy. He's a strictly bullpen guy projected. He's probably someone I would give up. Benjamin Ortman, he's in Triple A. I like him. We're going to keep him. Mike Meggers, going to keep. Duran, I mean, he hasn't pitched yet, but not impressive. You know, similar to Hook is what I think. I mean, I guess Hook is slightly better stuff. Or Holcomb, Scott Holcomb, real similar as well, but had a good year in '91 in Double A. Didn't pitch in the minors last year. Man, he actually. Well, again, this is low ratings though, low accuracy. I mean, but his ratings are not good at all. What does the OSA say? Similar. I mean, 30 movement and 25 control. What's Hook? 35, 25 potentially. Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to go with Hook because he's had pro service already and he hasn't done well. In fact, yeah, 86 when he was 17, he was up. So that means he can't be in Single A for me because I have Single A, Double A, and Triple A enabled. And Single A, you cannot be in Single A is how I did it if you have 4 years or more of pro experience. So I think I'm going to go with Hook. We're going to add Hook. Let's respond. We're going to add Hook and discuss. My GM, of course, doesn't like it. He says he very much likes the proposal. Let's go ahead and do it. We're going to get Greg Olson traded for an all-star. Fans are pumped. Yeah, he was an all-star last year. We got leadership. Players appreciate it. I mean, I like it. Let's see what else happened here. Maine got hurt, got hit by the pitching machine, huh? Brett Maine, 24-year-old catcher. Batting split stats leaders during spring training. Okay. Players appreciate that we brought in Greg Olson. Okay, well, Olson's going to go on to the spring training roster in the 40-man. We need to put him on. He already is perfect. Can we take all rares back? No, it's still got to clear waivers. Okay, so we still got to get rid of 3 guys. One of them is going to have to be a pitcher. Olson, I mean, I don't know if we make him the closer. I can always change this back, and I probably will, but I'm going to ask my manager for the bullpen, Davison. Let's see what he does. He's got Ward at closer, Olson at setup. I like that. I'm going to go Ward as high leverage, and I like them 8th plus or later. I guess that's fine. Olson 8th or later. How about 7th or later? Why not? Radinsky had a great spring training. I really like his movement. Look at that. 75. And he had a good year with Chicago. Picked him up in the expansion draft. They didn't protect him. I got some decent pitchers. So let's put him as another setup guy, 7th or later, and then middle relief as his 2nd spot. Then a bunch of other middle relief guys here. They like all these guys at long relief. How about Ruffin, middle relief specialist as secondary? He had a very good spring training with 18 innings pitched, and he's kind of a borderline starter. He's got 50 stamina. Lance Dixon, also a bit of a borderline starter. Had a real good year with Chicago last year, 92, 276 ERA, only 45 innings pitched, so he was a reliever, but he did real well. He's 23. I like him a lot. Not great movement, high stuff though. Not great control, not good movement, but can strike guys out and did well last year. So I think I want a few, maybe another guy or two at middle relief. How about maybe Aldred? Let's go Scott Aldred. Let's go middle relief and long relief secondary. And then these guys, long relief, middle relief. I don't need him as an emergency starting pitcher. They can just put him in if they need as an emergency starting pitcher. So, all right. So that's where we're at now. We're gonna have to. That's right. We're still gonna have to drop one of these guys because I don't want 9 pitchers. So who do we go with? This is kind of a tough decision to make. All these guys' ERAs were in spring training. Ward obviously didn't have a good spring, but he's my guy. I mean, it might have to be like Walker. He was with Seattle for 84 innings, did well. It's very low ratings here. He's considered a born leader. Man, this is a tough decision. I do have a lot of lefties. Ruffin had a great spring training, but with Oakland and Milwaukee last year, he really struggled. He's 29. Does he have any? He is on a minor league. He's not on my 40 man. He has an option year left, but he's not on the 40 man anyway. So I think I'm going to go with him. We're going to send him down. I know he had a good spring training. I like his ratings according to my scout, but we have a lot of competition and depth here. So he's just going to have to start in AAA, and we'll see if he can do well down there, or if someone struggles, we'll bring him up. He'll probably be the first one to come up, assuming he's doing well down there. So now I got to bring 2 more guys down to AAA. This is the lineups according to how my manager Davison wants to do it. I'm definitely going to override some things. Like, I know Buhner didn't have a good spring training, but he's going to start. I mean, he's got big time power and a great eye. Hit 23 jacks last year. Only hit 236, but I like him better than some of these other guys. Santana, I might send down. I guess it's low ratings, but he's fast apparently. He did have a pretty dang good spring training, but I don't know. I guess I think I'll need. So I think what I'll do is the 2 guys are going to be the guys that did have him and Reddington had good spring trainings, but they haven't. Reddington was in Double A last year. Didn't do that. He had 6 jacks. He didn't do that great. Santana was in Triple A and he hit over 300. Pretty good on base percentage too. So I guess he only had 25 at bats in spring training. I might consider him, but I'm going to send Reddington down, even though I like him. And he had a good spring training. I mean, he did all he could to earn a spot. He earned the respect here of us coaches, but he's not going to make the squad. And let's see, we got to keep all these guys that are starting, I think, here. So let's go all the way down. Yeah, maybe Easton, although I need a backup catcher, so that'll be him. Not good at catching. He was not experienced, at least. But Surhoff will be our starting catcher. Got him in the expansion draft. So I don't know. Maybe Zupich, Bob Zupich. That's how you say his name. I do know my manager did like him a lot early on when I recalculated, said, hey, what do you recommend? They had him starting, but I might, how many options? He's got 2 options left. I think I'm going to send him down. Let's do the lineups first here, though. So Ferris can actually play shortstop. He's a true utility guy. He can't do it great, but I like Ferris. He also had a good spring. Santana will be the backup shortstop, but Ferris, I like him for now. Once Cordero comes back, he'll start getting in there. So Santana's going to be the backup infielder, basically, that we have. Can Buhner play first? He can't. I think Easton can. Yeah, Easton can play first, so he'll probably be my backup here. I don't want Buhner starting every 20th game at first base. It'll be Easton. So we got Surhoff, Morris, Gardner. Okay, I guess. Yeah, unless we go Treadway. Where is Gardner? Is he way down here? He's pretty far down. And we still have to send somebody down to the minors. Gardner should it be Gardner? Wait, he had 280. He just didn't have a good OPS. Kirby, you might say, why don't you send Kirby down? Well, when I go to my team positional rankings and stuff, Kirby, well, now he's 18th, but he was, so he's gone down a little bit. He was up there in the green, like 12th or 15th or something. Best right fielder or center fielder in the game. So I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe it's him. Gilkey 23rd, but I like Gilkey. Look at his ratings. Those are average, average according to my scout. And he had a good spring training. Gilkey did. Fourth best out of all my players. Hit a couple home runs. Only hit 216, but 77 OPS. So decent. I guess Broomfield's got to be at third. He could also play outfield. Um, and so, Treadway maybe goes into third. He can kind of play third. I guess, yeah, he's more second base. Let's go back to here. So maybe, Treadway instead of Gardner, I think for now, or we go Broomfield to the outfield. Both those guys at second and third, and Kirby maybe down now. Last year he came up for 146 at bats. It did really well with Cleveland. He did well last year. I think he is 29 though. So it's really, I think it's between him and Bob Zupik. Last year Bob was not very impressive. He did decent in 91 in AAA, had 18 jacks, 429 at bats, slugged 434, only hit 240. I think Zupich we're going to go down. I like his defense, but Kirby's got pretty decent defense, I believe. Let's check. I believe that's correct. Got good range, that's right, because center field is tough. We're gonna go with Kirby. We'll give him a shot. So now we're down to 25. So that's what we need to be at. Hopefully we can get Olivares into our minor league system after he clears waivers. So right now Santana's going to be our backup infielder. We're going to go, I guess, Broomfield into maybe left. Kirby might start in center. So really, it's like, what four guys do you want to be your bench players? Oh, you know what? Eisenreich and Buhner I want starting. So I think Eisenreich, I'm going to go in left field. And then Buhner into right. So Gilkey, he can only play left. He's got a good arm. I mean, he probably could play right field decently. So he might be a backup there. But yeah, I guess, he'll just have to be my backup outfielder, maybe along with Broomfield. Yeah, Broomfield can kind of play center. So let's put Broomfield as a backup outfield, maybe just center, and then we'll go Gilkey left and right since Broomfield's already in the lineup. Get these guys out of here. So that's my outfield. Ferris for now is going to start at short. Santana the backup. Who's going to be my backup third baseman? Who else can play third? BJ Surhoff, I guess, because Treadway, I might start. What was I going to start him instead of Gardner, maybe? Let's get back to all batters here. Treadway had a better spring training than Gardner by quite a bit. Gardner did hit 280. Treadway hit 289 though. My manager recommends Gardner, but I think I'm gonna go with Treadway. So Gardner will be the backup second baseman. Santana will be the backup shortstop. Can he also play third? He cannot, but I think Treadway can, right? Yeah. So Treadway will be the backup third baseman to Broomfield. So there we go. There's the depth chart. We're all set. Let's get Ferris out of there. We're all set. We do need to put in our pinch hitters. Santana, he kind of earned it. He only had 25 at bats, but he did well, and we need an infielder, so he'll be last on the at bats. Isn't he fast too? He's very fast. Now that is low accuracy, but he'll be my first pinch runner. Ferris is starting, so he'll be out of there. Treadway also starting, so he'll be out of there. Gilkey, I think, can run. Oh yeah, he sure can. He'll be a pinch runner, and probably one of my top pinch hitters. Let's say the top pinch hitter. So Gilkey number 1. We got Easton. I don't think next. We're gonna Gardner next, and then Easton Santana. So I like that. Can Gardner run? Not really. Easton's a catcher. I shouldn't even look at him. He's very slow, but stealing and base running, not terrible. Okay, so there we go. That's how we are now. We just got to do the lineup. Let's see what they recommend. So I can go actions. I can go generate a lineup. Ask him for lineup based on these depth charts, can't I? Where is it here? Where is that option? Ask him for lineup. Ask him for depth chart. Oh, generate depth chart based on these lineups. So it's the other way around. Okay. So, well, I guess I can ask him for the lineup and see what he does, and that's not going to mess with my depth chart. So it did not. Now he might put different guys in, but he did not here in the lineup. So Treadway, yeah, okay. Here's what he wants to do. Broomfield leading off in spring training. He was my top guy. He was ridiculous. 975 OPS. Right around average according to my scout. First year in the majors. AAA though, he was solid. He was real solid. Had was at almost a 900 or a 900 OPS. Kirby hitting second, okay. Had a good year with Cleveland last year, 29 now. Hal Morris hitting third, high contact guy. Buhner at cleanup. Eisenreich fifth. Yeah, I think Eisenreich second. He's a high contact guy. We'll go Kirby 5. I mean, I like a guy with a little more power. Maybe even Broomfield 5 and Eisenreich or Kirby leading off. I don't like Eisenreich's eye. Maybe we go Kirby leading off. That is 3 lefties. How about Buhner 3rd, Hal Morris 4th, Broomfield 5th, BJ Surhoff 6th. Not a lot of home runs here in this game for Surhoff. In real life, he was a pretty good power hitter. He hasn't become that yet in this game. Ferris, who last year in AAA was a stud and came up and did well in 14 at bats with Texas. He's still gotta prove himself. He's 25, and then Treadway hitting 8th. I like it. I like this lineup. This is what we're gonna go with. Let's put it for. There's no interleague play yet, so I don't even mess with the DH. But it's going to be versus righties and versus lefties. We got our pitching staff. Let's finish today. Let's see if we get if we can pick up Olivares. I don't know how much longer he's got. Oh, can we do it now? It says he's got to be on the 40 man. It didn't give me anything else. So let's pull up the 40 man. Can we put him on there? Not cleared waivers. Okay, well, finish today again. Looks like no one has picked him up yet, so that's good. Now we were able to put him on there. Perfect. And he's down in the minors. So I'm glad we got him back. I do like him. I think he can do well. Looking in AAA, we got a lot of outfielders. We only have shortstop, second, and first for infield, but they'll figure it out. Some of these guys can play third or whatever. We got 4 catchers. I know Posada can play second base. I like Posada. I got him from the Yankees. He was not listed as a top 100 prospect, but I mean, now it's an average accuracy, but according to these ratings, like he definitely could be. He's fast. So we do have 4 guys that can catch down there in AAA, but that's fine. AA, we could put a guy down at AA. We got 2 catchers. We got enough guys down there. Single A, we got 35 spots and they're all filled. So I like where we're at. Let's see, what else were we gonna do here? I think we'll just. Oh, we were gonna look at the news. Let's see. So the trade was the last big time news. What about league transactions? That's basically it. Some guys released here recently. St. Louis, Danny Jackson, starting pitcher. He was with the Cubs last year, but St. Louis picked him up. They signed him to a 1-year deal. Looks like Robbie Thompson, who's now with Pittsburgh. They're doing work. They're trying to win it again. They extended him for pretty good money, 5 years for 15.8 mil. This was all during spring training. Tom Glavine getting an extension. Joe Bover, or is it Beaver? I don't know. Andy Van Slyke with Pittsburgh getting an extension. $6 million over 2 years, $3 million a year. Jose Canseco picked up by Boston after being with Seattle. Not doing, he had power, but I mean, my scout likes its low accuracy, but man, it'd be nice to have better accuracy. See, right now, I do have my scout, or sorry, my assistant GM is in charge of budgeting and stuff. But I don't know if my owner would let me change it anyway. Like if we go to, was it front office player development, I think, where we can, yeah, it might be locked in as far as money that we can put towards scouting and player development. So where is that? This is interesting here though. I like this. Prospects only, ranked by prospect rating. Melvin Nieves, I think he could be good. I think he might be a top 100 guy for us. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. Once we click on tomorrow, I think those reports will be generated. But let's get back to, yeah, is it just like front office? Is it somewhere around here? I forgot how we can look at that. Some salaries. I don't think it's salaries. Accounting. I forgot where we can do it. Maybe it's just because, yeah, I thought it was this here. Here it is. Yeah. So it's set in stone. Player development budget can only be adjusted later. But the money going towards scouting, I don't know where that is. Not sure where we can see that. Accounting, maybe? Do we have like scouting expenses or something here? Let's see. I don't see it yet. Here's player staff. Oh, scouting expenses. There it is. So I guess we bumped it up a little, 450,000. Wonder how that compares to other teams. Can I look at their books? 370 and 515. So Orioles up a little, but they were less last year. Indians 240, now 370. So we're not way out of the mix. I think it's just we haven't had games going yet. They just can't see what's going on. So all right, here we go. I think you might have to hang tight for a second while it calculates all these things here. We're 10%, and I think we're also going to have a top 100 updated list. We might have new preseason projections based on where teams are at. So I think we can be somewhat competitive. The NL West looked very weak in the last preseason projections. But I don't know. Maybe after spring training, things will look different. We'll just have to find out in a second. Here we go, generating preseason predictions. So another probably 20 seconds here, 10, 20 seconds. This might be the last one. I can't remember. I just know it does calculate this stuff right before the season. Here we go. Okay. So we got a lot more messages here. My owner says he wants me to just stay respectable on the field. Okay, that's good. Not expecting me to make the playoffs. Hopefully we do. I guess he kind of does, but he said, "Nah, just stay respectable on the field." Looks like John Thompson now is a potentially top 100 prospect, but I think he's our top guy. It looks like here. So we'll check though. I think we'll see more. Looks like some of these minor league guys that I offered their minor league contract to. Looks like they signed. Yeah, we got this guy into our double A. Yeah, here's all those guys sizing up. We start off against Florida. That's interesting. The two expansion teams going at it. I like that. Who do they have? Let's check them out first. Willie Whitehurst. Yeah, I remember them drafting him in the expansion draft. Mike Bielicki with Atlanta. He was pretty good. And Jeff Juden, 22 years old. He might be a top 100 guy. No, he's not. He might have been around that when they drafted him. I just can't remember. Let's check out their homepage. They have Ellis Burks. They got him in the expansion draft. He looks like one of their best players. Rick Aguilera is their best player from Minnesota. 31 saves last year as a closer with Minnesota. They have him as a setup guy though right now, but he looks like their best player. They do have Rod Beck. He's out though right now, so he might be up there too. Lance Johnson, I wanted to get him in the expansion draft. He was the first pick overall by the Marlins in the expansion draft. He was up there in batting average last year, and he was an all-star. So they didn't protect him for whatever reason. The White Sox did not. Danny Harriger is their only top 100 guy, but they got a couple other guys pushing it. Yeah, Jeff Juden's close. So that's where the Marlins are at. It's interesting to check these teams out before you play them. And let's take a look at the top 100 list. So Indians last year had the 1, 2, and the 3. It was Tomey, Manny Ramirez, and it might have been Brian Giles, but they had 1, 2, and 3. It looks like not anymore, but they still have. They got Ray Durham now too. They still have guys that are right up there. It looks like we don't have anyone in the top 10. No surprise there. Let's see who the top. So Tomey, yeah, as a shortstop, he keeps developing as a shortstop in this game. He's a big shortstop. Does it have his 6'3", 210? I mean, that's not massive. He ended up being, I thought, a lot bigger in real life. He had to be, didn't he? He was bigger than 210. But he might have come in as a rookie at that weight and height. And he's turning into a good shortstop in this game. That's pretty interesting. Number 1 prospect. They got Giant. Yeah, look at that. They are stacked. Indians are looking really good for the future. Astros looking good for the future. Blue Jay, they have a bunch of top 100 guys, all these teams. Let's see where the Rockies stand. Ooh, pretty far down here. We just have John Thompson. Yeesh, that's rough. We do have decent minor league coaches, though. Hopefully they can develop guys. We might need to trade. Might need to trade for prospects. We're going to see how the year goes. Let's see what we're projected to finish. Is this? It didn't really load. I guess it already loaded, so it should be new. It is. We've gotten a little bit worse, and the Cardinals have gotten a little bit better. So that's the projections, but who knows how it'll pan out. We'll see. We can get some momentum going. I think our pitching might be better than what people think. Here's the game's top projected pitchers. Glavine up there, Sid Fernandez. Wasn't he the Cy Young winner? And yep, he was in this game. 30 years old, 92. Bonds with Pittsburgh. He signed look at his 80s. I mean, it's very low, but 80s. He signed a big time deal to be a free agent or to be with the Pirates till 2000 when he'll be a free agent. Bonds, Grissom, Walker with Florida, good for them. Let's check the AL. Yeah, Griffey, McGuire, Juan gone. Shane Mack was a 332, one of the better hitters last year. Toronto has a sick starting rotation this year. Candiotti, who they got signed in the offseason. David Cone, who they also signed in the offseason. I don't think they traded for those guys. Maddox signed with the Yankees after finishing with the Cubs. And then another Alex Fernandez with Toronto, who got traded from the White Sox to the Dodgers last year and then was a free agent. I guess they traded for him as well. Yeah, he's on good money. He's on the minimum, I think, still is what that is. But yeah, let's glance at the Blue Jays real quick here. Let's see where they're at. Candiotti is the 4th best pitcher in the game, and then they got Cone and Fernandez behind him. John Franco in the pen. They gave big money to Assenmacher. Tony Fernandez, 3rd best shortstop in the game. He was a free agent signing from San Diego. And where's their farm system? I don't remember. Was it up there? Because I do know they unloaded some prospects. Wow, and it's 3rd. Man, Blue Jays looking really good in this game. What we'll do here, we're gonna sim out. We'll go like per series here for a little bit. So we'll go like Marlins. We'll do that series. Then whoever we're playing next, we'll kind of check out their team and see who they have and how we do against them. And every time we look at an NL team, like the Marlins right now, for example, we'll also glance at an AL team. So we just looked at the Blue Jays. Let's check them out a little more in depth here. Let's look at their lineup. Fernandez, Kent, Alomar, who was the MVP last year, had a ridiculous year. He is a free agent after this year. He's at second base. They got Olerud still, Devon White, Kelly Gruber, Turner Ward, Mike Scioscia, and Gerald Young they picked up this offseason. Looks like it was a trade with Houston in the offseason. Fast, kind of a utility guy, but their pitching looks really good. And I'm sure they can hit too with all these guys. So they're looking good. Brian Anderson, Sean Green, Jose Silva, their top prospects. A couple relievers that are out right now. Weathers could be decent for them, but nothing that's really that big of a deal for them. So that's the Blue Jays. Here's opening day. Let's see what other news we got. Nothing really. Which pitchers are leading MLB in career saves? Yeah, okay. Well, these are guys. Lee Smith's still in the game with San Diego. Raleigh Fingers has retired. Jeff Reardon with Cincinnati. So that's where things are at right now. Let's go ahead and check out what does it want me to do. Just I guess we got to make sure all these guys that are on my active roster are also on the 40 man. So we're at 37. So we got 3 spots open. Some of the guys, of course, in AAA were already on the 40 man from the expansion draft. I'm going to keep them on there for now. And here we go. Let's go ahead and sim the Marlins game. We got our lineup how we want it. We got Kevin Brown going first. And I think we're ready. So here we go. First game, game 1 against Florida. Let's see what happens. 11-10 win. We're at home, I think. Yeah, versus Florida. What happened here? Steve Dixon, I think I offered him a minor league contract at one point. He's saying, oh, he doesn't want the extension. Okay. These guys I extended here. I like to keep an eye on my office and look at other news. Nothing going. Let's check what's going on here. Kirby with a 3-hit game, 3 ribbies with a jack. Nice. Had a good feeling about him. Hal Morris, couple hits. Broomfield, couple hits. I mean, we had a lot of runs being scored this game. How many home runs? Just 1, Kirby. Yeah, a lot of guys with multiple hits. How'd Kevin Brown do? He got rocked. Wow, 13 hits in 4 2/3. Gave up 4 earned runs. The pen did great though. Walker came in, got the win. Olson held, Radinsky held, Dwayne Ward with the save. So yeah, it's kind of interesting here. Our stadium. It's not. I don't think it's exactly like. Well, it's Mile High, but I don't think the metrics are. I don't know if they're the same or not. How do we go? Do we go to info? Here it is, ballpark. Because like doubles are down. Maybe that's how Mile High was. I don't know. Average is up, which makes sense of flat pitching with altitude, but doubles are down, triples are way up, and home runs are just barely up. I guess home runs from righties are up quite a bit, 12%, but from lefties they're way down. So it's kind of interesting. I guess that's just how Mile High is, and I don't know if the game will change to Coors Field in '95 or not, but I'll try to remember to do that manually if it doesn't. So, but it's still a hitter's ballpark. It looks like here, even with doubles down 4% and home runs from lefties way down like 11%. Anyway, good for us getting the opening day win. Let's play our Florida series out here, and then we'll check out Pittsburgh. Ooh, a 9-1 loss. So they took it to us here. Did we do anything offensively? Broomfield with a couple hits. Kirby, Eisenreich, Morris. Lance Johnson had a game for them. Orlando Merced. They have Ellis Burks with 3 hits. He's having a series. He's hitting .556. Jeff Hewson, 2 for 2. And Rambo, rookie of the year last year. Welcome to Colorado. Got rocked. Our relief pitching didn't do great either. Allred and Dixon. Let's go ahead and finish up the final game of the series here. And we win by a run. Marlins made 3 errors. Ferris with a game, produced 2 singles and a double, scoring 2 runs. Looks like we came back here. We got 2 in the bottom of the 8th. Wayne Kirby having a good start. Eisenreich, couple hits. Buhner's really struggling. He's hitting 100. He was 0 for. He did have a walk. Morris struggling a little bit. He was 0 for, hitting 230 now. Broomfield, though, staying hot. Ferris doing well, picking up some slack at shortstop. Had 4 ribs, as we saw. And Gardner with a pinch hit and Gilkey with a pinch hit. So Frank Tejada went today. Tanana. Not a very, we haven't had quality outings, that's for sure, quality starts. But Greg Olson coming in with the win, pitching 2 innings. I like that. Use those guys. Use them. And then Dwayne Ward getting the save. So now we got Pittsburgh, the former national champs, world champs. So I think we should have something in our mailbox from my scout here. Let's check out the other news. What happened here? Jack Morris, he's with the Cubs right now. Looks like he had a good start. Danny Darwin with the Expos did well. Dave Fleming's shutting them out, shutting the Reds out. Ramon Martinez, I had a chance to trade for him in the offseason. Didn't do it. He's on 2.3. He goes to arbitration. And honestly, when I looked at his pitching stats, last year he wasn't great. Like his ERA, adjusted ERA, was below average. 3.73 ERA in LA. Now, 91, he was good. 90, he was good. Before that, he was okay. But yeah, I passed on him. He is a leader. Probably, maybe should have gotten him. I just thought, hey, I want to give these starters chances. Ozzie Smith going to retire after this year. Okay, he announces. Randy Tomlin of Pittsburgh. I don't know if we'll face him or not. Maybe because we got 3 games, and this was just yesterday, I suppose. And Scott Sanderson with the Royals, silencing the Red Sox. So let's check out. How about we check out the Royals? Check out an American League team. I'm probably going to forget which teams as I go, which teams we checked out, but that's fine. I want to just get to know all these teams. So Kevin Appier still, Todd Stottlemyre. They picked him up from Toronto, of course. Who are their top players? They got Bobby Bonilla, 6th best third baseman. Ruben Sierra, Apier's good. Lieber's good. Farm system, Chris Gomez, John Lieber, Robert Toth. Haven't heard of that guy. So, yeah, lineup here, Sierra, Bonilla, Joyner. That's pretty good. I mean, how were these guys last year? I guess Sierra only had 7 jacks, but he had 25 in 91. He's got some power. My scout says it too. Bonilla, 16 homers last year. Wally Joyner, only 6, but 21 in 91. So, yeah, a lot of these guys I guess Texas, Sierra was with Texas, but Joyner with Kansas City, not a lot of home runs. And Bonilla's with the Mets. All right, let's check out the Pirates. Obviously, we know they are good. We know they just won the World Series. They got Nagel on the bump, Dave Stewart, who they picked up last year, and Doug Drabeck. Of course, Barry Bonds. I don't like that we have to face him. Mike Laverly, is that how you say his name? I recognize the guy. I just don't know how to say his name. And then they picked up Robbie Thompson. They got Jay Bell. He's a good shortstop. Yeah, let's check out where their guys are. He's the top catcher in the game. Jay Bell, 5th best shortstop. Of course, Bonds is up there. Yeah, they look good. Hopefully we can maybe take a game off them, not get swept. That'd be great. I'd take that. They're pretty solid. Let's go ahead and sim it out here. So who do we got? Who do we have going? We got Doherty. When's Brown going to be good to go? Here's slightly tired. I have it on strict on occasion. You know what? We might just go. Let's just go always start highest rested. So it'll be Doherty right now. Haven't had a quality start yet. Let's go ahead and sim it out here. Ooh, we lose in 12 innings. We're at Pittsburgh. They got 20 hits. Wow. We only had 11, and somehow we hung with them till the 12th where they got their final run. Van Slyke was 4 for 6. Did really well. Dwayne Henry got the win for them. Wayne Kirby still impressing in the leadoff spot. Eisenreich getting a lot of hits. Just glancing at our guys' averages here. Broomfield having a good season so far. I mean, not season, 4 games, but having a good start. Doherty actually, that's 6 innings. That's a quality start. Did well. Burke came in relief, did well. Looks like Dwayne Ward blew the save. He gave up 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning. I mean, it is the Pirates. They're tough. But that happened. Radinsky, Aldred didn't give up an earned run, so Aldred's must have been on an error. Treadway and Broomfield each made an error. So tough game for us. Dibble came in and had a couple walks. He'll do that. He's not a high control guy. All right, well, good effort, guys. Let's try to get the next one. Here we go. A 4-3 win. All right, I like our start here so far. Kevin Brown. So they went back to Brown. I like that. We went start highest rested because I think otherwise, wasn't it our 5th starter? Yeah, it was Jaime's potential job, but let's go back to Brown if he's ready, like we did. Eisenreich still getting the hits, 1 for 3 with a walk. I mean, I might even move him up to leadoff. You know, Kirby's still doing fine there, but he's got some power. 545 slugging. Buhner is still really struggling. Maybe we should give him a day off. I think we'll do that. I think I'm going to give him a day off. Hal Morris, kind of struggling, but he got a hit. There's where everyone's at. Jay Bell with them for 3 hits for them. Kevin Brown, 7 walks. That's uncharacteristic of him, isn't it? 55 control. Did his movement go down a little bit? I thought it was better than that. We're at average now instead of low. Can we look at scouting? There you go. Here's scouting. No, I guess it was, 80 here. Yeah, 80 movement in 92. Now at a 60. So, yeah, he's potential and current movement drops from 80 to a 60. Man, so maybe, maybe teams knew that and they didn't sign him. But he's been all right for us so far. He got the win. He's under a 4 ERA. We'll take it. I mean, he's our horse. We got him for till 96. So 3 years. I don't like giving real long-term contracts to pitchers unless I'm absolutely certain. Radinsky, good job. Dibble gave up a couple again. 4 hits, no walks this time. Maybe the pitching coach was like, hey, no walks. And so he threw it over the plate too much. I don't know. Burke coming in getting the save. 34 years old, high movement guy as well. Did give up, no, he didn't. He didn't give up any runs. Okay, we'll do one more game against Pittsburgh. Then I'm going to stop this. We might jump in later today or another time, but I got to get going. So we'll do the final game against Pittsburgh here. Let's check, see if we have any news. Looks like a lot of waivers, guys being claimed off waivers. I don't see any big names, though. I should check the waivers, though, to keep an eye on it for sure. Some free agent signings. A lot more waiver claim. Is that Chris with an R? Carpenter? Yep, he was good for St. Louis last year. Baltimore picked him up. Yeah, a lot of waiver action. Wow. Yeah, that makes sense coming after spring training. Teams, putting guys on waivers, making room. So where are we at here? Tim Raines, going back to last year, he's got a 20-game hit streak for Chicago. Greg Jeffries going 5 for 5 with Montreal. And Florida, Wally Whitehurst shutting out Houston. They're not looking so hot, though. They're 1-3. They're ranked very low and everything. Oh, and then the Yankees end Tim Raines' streak in a 11-3 win for the White Sox, but they still ended his streak. Okay, let's check out waivers here. Check out waivers. Let's look at everybody. There's Bud Black. I've seen him bouncing around. Todd Van Poppel, 21 years old. With Oakland last year, had 60 innings pitched and a 4 ERA. That's pretty good. Wasn't he a top 100 at one time? Last year, he was the number 13 ranked prospect, but he dropped out of that. But, still, does he have options left? That's the question. He does. So I could pick him up, put him on my 40 man. I got room, and I could put him down into AAA. I think I'm good doing that. I'm good doing that. He was a top 100 prospect at one time. Lilliquist, and then center fielder Hensley Mullins was decent for the Yankees last year. I mean, I do like him. I don't really have room for him right now. Let's well, can he go into the minors? What's he on? He's on the minimum. He's got 2 option years left. So I could pick him up. I think I'm just going to stick with pitching here. We're going to go with Van Poppel. Let's claim him. So he's going to remain on waivers until he's in the American League. So if an AL team claims him, they'll get precedence over me. Here we go, Game 3 against Pittsburgh, and we lose 9-5. At least we scavenged a game from the defending world champs. Looks like we had quite the lead in the 7th, and then they answered with 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Wayne Kirby, keep getting hits. 2 for 4. Eisenreich, 2 for 5. Morris, 2 for 5. Easton, the catcher. Oh, yeah, I meant to give Buhner a day off. Okay, we'll try to remember to do that here. Maybe we'll do it right now so that I don't forget, and then we'll come back to it. So let's just do Gilkey in there. Let's just do it now. Gilkey for Buhner. Gilkey for Buhner. And then I'll switch it back. So here we are. Jaime with a quality start. Not bad, especially against the Pirates. And then Allred, 4 runs, only one of them earned. We made some errors. And we did have the lead. That's where Walker blew that save, apparently, or that was part of it. Yeah, not all those runs were earned. And then Dixon came in, finished the game. All right, thanks for watching. That's where we're at. We're just getting things rolling. I'll probably sim a little more here, either on the live stream or on my own, and then we'll jump in soon later on, showing you how things are going as the season rolls.